Good morning. So this is a totally random topic or rant that I was getting ready this morning and I was just thinking about a few things. And I have never been one to want the traditional American dream. I've always known that I wanted something different for my life. I'm not sure, and I'm still trying to figure out why exactly that is and why I've always had a calling to do things my own way. I always felt like I was going against the grain, and I'm okay with that. But that really got me thinking about our school system and how our school system has failed us in so many ways. And I still don't understand that in 2020 um, why we aren't teaching certain things in our school system. For one, we go to school and we learn a bunch of topics and subjects that we most likely will never use. I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn these things, but I feel like it could. I just feel like some things that we learn, and there's so much pressure to learn in high school, um, are things that aren't really necessarily anything that's going to help us in life. And ultimately, what school should be doing is setting us up for success in life after school, right? As adults. That is supposed to be the whole premise and the whole purpose. It shouldn't just be to teach you things and skills and ideas about certain things that might help you in a job. But what about life skills? I know nowadays they do have high school classes that are more about like life skills, but the types of life skills that they teach are not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about um, mechanics or cooking. That's not what I'm talking about. Or career, finding your career path, or whatever they have nowadays. But what I'm talking about is, why don't they teach in school ways in which to find peace and happiness? Because this day and age, we have way too many people committing suicide and way too many people suffering with depression and things like that. But a big part of that is most of us don't ever learn the skills through our parents or through our educational systems on how to cultivate self-love and inner peace and happiness. This is harder for some people than others, of course. But just to even have the basic skills provided to us in school would be so beneficial for so many people, because that can spark an interest. Some people go through their whole life not even realizing that self-love and certain self-care or meditation, um, or any of these things are even a thing until they run across an ad or a YouTube channel or something like that, right? But if these things can be taught in school, like self-respect and self-love and self-acceptance, are such a huge thing for most people, because without it, we don't have healthy boundaries. We settle in life. We end up in unhappy marriages and relationships, unhappy friendship relationships, unhappy in our jobs. You know, if we don't feel like we are worthy or valuable, and if we are taught to, so basically, the American dream teaches you to get an education, to work hard towards getting a career, a good paying career, and then buy your house and have your child and get married and have the big lavish wedding and all of that. So that is just teaching us to go straight from university or straight from college or high school to college to buying your house, and it's all materialistic and it's all very specific. I think that it's more of an individual journey. Everyone is different, everyone's heart's desires are different. It's not a one size fits all type of thing. So why are we taught that? Why does it feel like everyone is going down that route? Because that's what their parents told them and that's what their teachers told them is the right way to do things. who the hell decided that was the right way to do things? You know? Because the problem with this is that too many people end up going down the road that someone else wanted them to go down, and it wasn't in line with their values and it wasn't in line with their wants, because they never were taught the skills to learn about values, learn about what they truly want, learn self-respect and boundaries. Because sometimes we even have to put up boundaries with our parents. I hear all too often about people having gone for a specific career because their family pressured them into it, and they went into college for something that their parents wanted them to do. And literally 10 years later, they're in a life where they hate it. They hate their husband, they hate their job, they hate their career, and now they're ready for a fucking reinvention, you know? When this could have all been stopped earlier, and they could have went down the right path at an earlier age if they were given the right tools in school to learn about them, what they want on the inside, you know? Self-respect, self-love, boundaries. Follow your heart. I think that this would also benefit society and the world, because more people would go out there and be creative and open and broaden their minds, and we could have even more inventions and more love and peace and happiness. Okay, I've lost too many people to suicide because they were unhappy on the inside. They were trying to fill a void with material things, and that's the problem. We are bombarded with advertisements on social media, on TV. Everywhere we go, we are bombarded with advertisements to buy more, need more, you know, you need to upgrade, everything needs to be upgraded. But in the end, at the end of the day, does that truly make you happier after the first 10 minutes? Or maybe the first week if it's like a new vehicle or something, a bigger purchase. But does it truly fulfill you and make you happy in the end? No. No. It's the simple answer, and it's the truth. And if you say yes, I don't buy it, because materialism can only go so far. It's an external form of happiness. It's a quick fix. It's just like a drug, just like alcohol, okay? And I know all about that, so you can't fool me. The thing is, if you're happy on the inside and you're following your dreams and you're doing what you love and you have a passion-driven purpose, and you have self-respect and self-love, and you can honestly look yourself in the mirror and appreciate yourself and love yourself on a daily basis and wake up with gratitude, this is when you feel happy in any circumstance, you know? And not to say that you don't have bad days, but this is where you can really, truly thrive, and then work from there. Work from that place, you know? Build your income and build your materialism, if that's what you really want in the end. You can build that from there. But if you build upon an emptiness or a longing for something more or different, or if you build it on like a facade, it's all going to come crumbling down at some point, you know? And you're not going to feel happy and fulfilled. And there's so many celebrities, like that's a prime example. There's so many celebrities that went after their dream of being famous, because they thought that that would be the answer to all of their woes and all of their insecurities or whatever, you know, being loved and having fans. And they thought that would be the answer. But many of them sadly have committed suicide as well, or they become drug addicts and alcoholics because they're trying to fill a void which only we can fill. No amount of fame, no amount of drugs and alcohol, no amount of money or status is going to fill that void. Maybe temporarily, but not in the long term. And that's what we're really going for here. We're going for long-term happiness, sustainable, true happiness from within. It is a long effing journey, let me tell you, because it doesn't come so easy to us. Unfortunately, it just doesn't, you know. True inner happiness and fulfillment doesn't really come easy to us as humans, because we tend to have a lot of suffering, you know, in our lives and all around us and on the news. And I think a big thing as well is a lot of us feel lost when we feel like our life doesn't have a purpose. And I know that that's a big one. And I really do believe that a lot of depression comes from that feeling of just like, okay, so we live and then we die. and then what, right? So like, what is my purpose here? Is it just to, come here, work hard, suffer a little, have a few happy moments and then die? Is that it? So like, these kind of questions need to be not need to be answered, because really there's no real answer to it, but we need to be taught things and ways in which we can combat those feelings, and they should teach in school how to go after our passion driven purposes, and give back to our communities and things like that, because that really drives a purpose in our lives, and then it makes us feel like as humans we have a place and a purpose on this earth. We're not just living to die, we're living to change the world and to make the world a better place before we leave. So I know one of my missions is to make this world just a tiny teeny little bit better than when I got here. And if everyone had at least one tiny goal of doing the same, can you imagine how much better this planet would be, and how much better we would be as humans? And I wish that the school system didn't fail us so hard, and I'm not sure what we can do about that, and I don't know if there's a way that we can combat that or fight that, but I know that I'm going to make it my mission to continue to learn and grow as much as possible for myself, and then what I learn along the way I want to teach others, so that we can all find true peace within our hearts and happiness, where we don't need the materialism, and we don't need the drugs and alcohol and the cigarettes and the food and the sugar and the carbs, where we get to a place where we are happy and we are truly happy, and from there we can decide, what do I really want, and we can follow that, and our main focus and our main goal won't be on materialism. We'll have a real clear picture of what we want out of life, and a true picture, not what society or the ads or the news tells us. So anyways, that's my rant for the day. Comment below and let me know what you think about this topic, and yeah, thanks so much for watching.